getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate, separate and segregate. Don't celebrate quite yet, the storm is coming, Q, for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate. The values of our country and our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate, marching on these streets of blood.
Welcome back to the Tim and Steve Show. I am Tim Beard.
I'm Steve Morris.
How's it going, Steve?
Doing well. How about you?
Oh, not bad.
Making some progress at your house, I saw some pictures.
Yeah, so I paused. We haven't done a show. It's been 2 weeks today. It's tough. Like, want to do shows because obviously I like doing this, and but then I get like, I've got the excavator rented. I think it's supposed to go back in the next couple of days. I don't remember exactly. I'm just kind of hoping it. It's like if I don't pay attention to it, maybe it'll go longer. I don't know. But I've been trying to get my septic system completely done because over the winter, like I had a tank in and then just had to like get the tank pumped, and so it was like a hole and it was a pain in the butt. But trying to get it done, and I've got it all. It needs like another load, maybe 2 loads. So in the 1 ton of my brother's dump truck there, the 1 ton. I was using mine, but then the dump decided it doesn't want to dump anymore. So I got to get like a new pump for it, which seems like it's going to be a little more challenging than expected because it's an older truck. But yeah, I think just like another load, maybe 2, but of stone over it, and then I'll be good and hopefully get inspection. And then hopefully this week I can just finish it up. But it's really coming into it. The backyard's really like, it's coming out nice. And I spent 7 hours yesterday putting a swing set play fort thing together, and it wasn't just me. Amelia helped, obviously Andrea, Alicia, Lydia came out after like 2 hours. She came out, helped for the rest of the time, and then Sadie, Amelia's girlfriend, and actually Uncle Billy stopped in at one point and helped towards the end a little bit too. And I got sunburn. It was hot, so I didn't have my shirt on, and I put sunscreen on like 3 times, and still got sunburn on my back a little bit. It was hot when the sun was out, and then it clouded up for a little bit. I'm like, really, it's going to rain again because that's all it wants to do lately. And it didn't rain. I was like, oh, it was kind of nice, the sun away. And but we got it together. So my daughter is obviously extremely happy, and it wasn't bad. I got it on Amazon. It was like $864, something like that. It's cedar, so it has a nice smell to it for right now. Anyways, you got to be a little careful putting it together because the boards like would crack. Well, let's see. Lydia and Sadie, I think, were both standing on it at one point, and then the kids, my bigger kids, were on the swing and stuff, and it seemed fine. So once it's all together, it's got the little roof over it, and it's got a slide and a little rock wall thing, and she's gonna love it. So we both finally got together. I got it a couple weeks back, and I've been too busy, and then so yesterday I went out like flattened the area out, or Saturday I went out flattened the area out and showed her like, hey, we're gonna build this tomorrow. And then I built not a little, I guess, like it's probably 20 feet long, like a kind of like a garden bed, flower bed in the front of the
raised bed.
Yeah, raised bed in front of the house because the garden I'm just too busy. Like I still have to put some more stone and sand in there before I put the loam in, and so I figured we could plant some tomato plants out there and some flowers and stuff, and we'll see. Maybe I still got to plant potatoes because I have a lot of 50-pound bag or whatever.
You got a big bag of potatoes.
Yeah, plus I got some.
my
small
potatoes
ones.
are about done out there.
I saw yours are up. Your garden's looking great.
Thanks.
That's what you've been working on there. Well, for the last 2 weeks, like you've been working out there and
with no show and no school board meetings, really
getting some stuff done. No, it looks awesome. I was telling you, so it looks like it's gonna showers again this week and stuff, and you're all like, oh, my garden needs it. Screw your garden, you need to just water it from the well. I'm sick of the rain. Feels like we've gotten into that pattern again, which it's bike week in New Hampshire, so 100th Laconia Bike Week too, which is the oldest in the country. So
I thought I had noticed a lot more motorcycles out yesterday. That makes sense.
Yes, it started
a lot out.
Yeah, so it started Saturday and goes through this coming Sunday. So really pay attention to motorcycles out there because there'll be lots of them out on the road. And Yeah, 100th annual. It's pretty cool. I've been up one time.
I've never even been to Laconia. I need to go. Just to go to the arcade. I just want to go to the arcade.
Fun spot. Yeah, fun. We'll have to because I have
you know,
tokens.
because like
It's really cool. It really is.
I've realized in my old age that like we revert back to things that were fun to us as kids. I'm pretty sure is like that's where it brings, at least for me, a lot of happiness. So going to that arcade and just hearing the sounds and the smelling the putrid carpet. I'm sure
we're tricked. We're like tricked as children, like or whatever. Like you feel like, oh, can't wait to grow up. Can't wait to be an adult. I'm like, no, that's the stupidest thing you should ever want.
I try to take
like,
the exact opposite approach with Zeta. I'm like, Zeta, like, she wanted to get a job because everybody around here seems to have a job when they're like 12. I'm like, Zeta, you're going to have plenty of time to work while you have the ability of, you know, making, like, for me, her work was making good grades and focusing on sports. Like, that's how my parents, you know, I was able to focus on getting into my college was because they were like, they wouldn't let me get a job. I wanted to get a job too. And they were like, no, focus on school. You'll have plenty of time to work the rest of your life.
I try telling the kids too, which I hate when I say it because it's the same thing my dad said to me. So it's kind of like, I'm sounding like my dad, you know, but it's like, enjoy this because I'm not gonna say it's the easiest time in your life because I know it's not. You know, it's tough, especially like teenage girls. It's hard. Like it's tough. That part of it's tough.
The social.
Yes, that part does get easier. So if you're watching this and you're like having trouble in school and you're a teenage boy, you know, girl and you're a boy, whatever, it doesn't matter because it's the drama and stuff. That part gets better. But the easiest part, I mean, is you don't have to worry about, you know, oh, gotta go pay bills today or gotta like
pay my taxes.
Yeah. So enjoy it. Like do all the fun things in school, and you know, I don't know because you get that's one time.
And I like to think that I taught Zeta to have a good work ethic. She can. Yeah. She won't put up with, and I also taught her not to put up with stuff from anybody.
Yeah. No,
like, I don't care if you think you're in a position of authority or not. You better come correct when you're talking to a Morris.
Yeah, we should, like Andrew's really good about that. Like all our kids and. Yeah, it's as I've gotten older, I've see in the past, like when I was younger, probably it was like people that were like bluntly honest with you. I was kind of like put off by that. I'm like, oh, you're kind of an asshole, whatever. But now I respect that more than anything because it's true, it's real, and that's what we need in life now is just real things
instead of all the BS.
Yes,
everybody
exactly
keeps pumping. Oh, you're special. No, we're not.
Right.
We're all special in our own way, but you're not that special to where like society needs to form some special committee to recognize your specialness. No, keep moving, pal.
Yeah,
we're all special. Next,
keep working on it. And,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So besides gardening for the last 2 weeks, what else you been up to?
Let's see. Last week I went to a select board meeting. That's interesting. I you know, I have this infatuation with the airport ever since the town gave it away to the federal authorities because of like the select board, in my opinion, from my observations as a citizen, tend to make decisions based on money. Like they're like I don't think they put a lot of thought into second, third, and fourth order effects. And I say that with confidence because there was a gentleman behind me that was like, hey, have y'all even thought about the effect that this building's going to have on the aviation industry as it applies to Newport? And they all just kind of looked dumbfounded. And he gave the type of a wind that I think is more like I think he'd use like a sailing term, possibly. That's what the context clues I derived from it. But anyway, with a building that's proposed down there by the airport that's right off the runway, you know, he was like, have y'all looked into the fact that it could cause certain aircraft to flip over under certain wind conditions and therefore no one will ever use your airport again? And everybody just kind of had like a blank stare from the town manager. I think he had a blank stare. He was slouching, so I couldn't really see him. But you know what I mean? Like it was all, I was just like, wow, I'm glad somebody had put some thought into this 4 months after the decision's been made to bring money into the town, because that's what's most important is money.
Yeah,
it's not anything else. But anyway, so I was there, so it's worth watching to listen to that. And I'm sure that they're doing some research. I hope that they are after that, because you would hate to end up losing income because
So-
you put a building up that
Let me tell you a little backstory.
renders the airport useless
So-
for certain size aircraft.
First of
allegedly.
all, I want to get that guy's information because I want to reach out to that guy because
Oh, and he also said that, which we already knew because that the numbers that they're providing for Spring Street are baloney. He said that they're straight up wrong, and
for the school, right?
how they were saying there's only be like one person per 30 units or whatever. He's like, those numbers are way off, and they're basically lies, and you're not going to be prepared for the amount of kids that are going to be coming into your school based on 120. So it was interesting to hear, because he owns 17 properties. And so whenever you get a businessman or woman involved, they start doing research because it affects their bottom line. And so it's interesting that he was able to pull all this out and be honest with us while no one else seems to be
I've said this
when it comes to like the amount of kids that it might attract. Because we've talked about it on the show before that we thought it was BS.
Yeah. So
And I'm pretty sure Donna did the research, and she found that it was BS based on calling other superintendents that had similar things. So, I mean, we know it's BS, but it's like, why are you feeling us aligned? Like, why are we listening to the businessman, and why aren't we doing our own research? Because they're looking to make money. That's all they're doing. They don't care about this town. And that was also his point, was like, these people are coming here making promises. They don't really care about this because they're probably already going to sell it off. I mean, he was pretty blunt and honest. It was refreshing to hear a man who has 17 properties in town basically let them know that like they're not doing enough research. This is what I took away from it.
yeah, so I had a awards night that night, so I wasn't able to go, but I went home and I watched like that whole section, you know, and some other stuff with the meeting. But so I was like, hey, I really want to reach out to that guy because so here's the thing, and I was reappointed to zoning board on.
I heard. I
Yeah.
saw that.
So my term was up. So I guess I should probably get sworn in soon. But I'll say this anyway. So maybe they'll pull my name back out after I say what I'm going to. But so I've been on zoning board, I think, for 5 years now. I originally joined. Actually, yeah, it was like 6 years. Yeah. So I originally joined because I was having hard times with the town and my property. Because I wanted to build a barn. I was told I couldn't build a barn on the property until I built a house, which was not true. It's a bunch of BS. And the previous person that was there just thought she was like the queen of the town, whatever, and just would do whatever she thought was best.
Yeah, that goes along a lot. And
Yeah,
Right
I've
here.
noticed. So I've said for 6 years now, I guess, and I'd asked Jeff Kessler at one point, who's the board rep on zoning. I don't know now who it is, but up to the last time we went, he was. But I'd say, hey, you're the rep from the select board. How many of these apartment things should be, you know, does the town want us to approve? Because obviously at some point you keep approving. Well, it's going to affect our town.
yeah, you're going to have a bunch of illegal immigrants getting dropped
Yeah.
off.
At this point,
And by immigrants, I mean aliens.
yeah. So at this point, we've approved basically 200 units from the one up by the old Tiffy Stanley's on Route 11, the auto body place. We approved like 30 units there, which I don't think that's going to go through because they don't have the money or whatever. But that was approved. So then you have that. We have Spring Street. You have Sunapee Street, the Mill Building, which is 70 units. You have,
Because you got a lot of people lined up to move to New Hampshire or to Newport.
guess so, Canal
Like,
slash,
where are these people going to come from?
yeah, Canal slash Sunapee Street or however that worked there. Canal and Central Street, I guess, one of them. There's a property there that's approved. It was approved for like 30 units, but then they went to the planning board and they want like 55 units, and then so the zoning board voted not to approve the 2-year extension on it because you have 2 years to build, and then apparently the guy's going to appeal it because we approved the use, we didn't approve the units, and one of the people on the board, I wasn't at the meeting when that one was approved, but was like, well, you presented it as you're going to have like a 25 unit here, and now suddenly you've changed it to like 55. So we feel like you lied to the board, basically.
You changed the rules.
Yeah. And then he's trying to say, well, no, you approved the whatever. So we'll see where that goes. But I've mentioned this many, many times, the amount of kids coming in to the school and affecting it. And the thing is, it'll never affect the town because the town's not affected by it. And when I say town, I mean the town side of things. The town manager, the select board, like that, because they don't have to deal with the kids. We do, the voters, the taxpayers, we have to worry about it because then
Well, this goes
that
back to
up.
like how I went there, and part of my thing of going there was to try to work together with them because we, Mr. Spalding put that thing forward where the town voted to say, hey, keep the bus barn. Well, they wanted to do a meeting with like 2 board members from each, like in like a committee. And my whole take as the chairman of the school board, my personal opinion, granted, we haven't had a meeting to talk about this. And so I told them that this is my personal opinion, is that the town has spoken. There's not really much to discuss other than like to iron out some details here, but the town has spoken. So it would be interesting to just sit down with them in public and have a discussion about it of why, of what it is that they expect, because I know when I read that what I expect, and
Yeah,
anyway, so I offered them because we were supposed to meet with them last week, 2 boards, and then they canceled because they couldn't get a quorum together even after they had initially accepted our invite. Then they changed it. And so my point of going was to offer them to meet again, board to board, out in public, so that the voting public who voted on this and made their voice known. So it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. From my perspective, the town has spoken. So really, it's just let's iron out the details. Like, you lost on this, you took it and you ran with it. I say we, Bert took it and got 30 signatures, and then 700 people voted and said, yeah, the school's right on this. So anyway, my point was to invite them back to an open meeting. We'll see if they accept it. And then also, because there's the issue with the CTE being possibly delayed, because
well, it is delayed at this point because you were going to start right off.
Yeah, so we've already pushed it, and it costs, and everything costs money. And I don't feel like that, from my perspective, when I was in the military, if there was something that was held up because of procedural or whatever, you go and you fix it and you make it happen. Like, this is important because a lot of money is lined up for it. So I offered to make some phone calls or go to Concord or whatever needs to happen, because we're not getting anything done. It's been 2 months. Initially, they said it was going to take about a week just to reappropriate some land because they had gotten a bunch of land gifts, so all they had to do was redesignate it. And now it's turned into a whole ordeal. And my point of going was to invite them back to a board meeting, and then also to offer any assistance that they need from me as a member of the building committee, as a school board member, as an elected officer in the town, right, on the school side. I'll make some phone calls. I can be professional. I can be a bureaucrat.
Yeah.
Because there's no point for things to drag out like this unless it's being done on purpose. Like at this point, when it's been 2 months after I was told it's going to take a few days, let me help. So anyway, they didn't take me up on that either, but
Yeah,
I
so
offered to help.
it's interesting that the CTE thing, which overwhelmingly passed with like 86% vote in town in support of
And
it.
now the town's going to interfere with it because they can't
Yeah.
do the paperwork. Is what it appears to me, my own personal opinion.
Well, no. So, and if someone,
I don't understand. Like,
if
you
someone
make
out there-
things happen. You go make a phone call. You drive somewhere. Just the lack of effort just
and when-
amazes me sometimes. That people just sit there and be like, well, it's taking time. No, like, make it happen.
So when we were originally in the mix of this, because originally the school reached out to this New Hampshire Parks and Rec or whatever, they basically said that, yeah, you've got like 3/4 of an acre here, so all you have to do is find 3/4 of an acre and
Anywhere else that's not
Yes.
designated.
as recreation area. So, and it could be bird watching. You put a bench here, whatever. It's simple,
Right.
nothing. So, but ever since then, it's been like, oh no. And then there's this new thing is like, well, we're going to build a field up by the airport where the well is. And then, the school's going to have to pay, $40,000, whatever the field put in for this piece of property which makes no sense because the school owns all that property. But where that hockey rink was, from there down, it was a grant at one point. But the town got the grant. So now the state supposedly won't talk to the town or school anymore. They'll only talk to the town on something that was so simple. They already said it was simple. And it's like, okay, well, why don't we just take the 65 acres that Roy Malou just left the town, and why don't you that's going to be recreation anyway. So look, there you go. That's a easy, switch there. And then if it wasn't for Ed
That's the
Carr,
lay person understanding of it. Though.
Yeah, you know.
You don't
Yeah.
understand the fine details of how.
yeah, it's probably so much more complicated than that. I'm sure it's such a complication. Like, have you noticed? And like, the guy that's sitting behind you, he totally would have called it out. But like, everything's so much more complicated than it is. Like, I'm a businessman. It's not complicated. You
Well,
just
that's
get
why
it done.
Like a lot of things when we talk, I don't understand the business side of things, but I do understand the side of make things happen immediately because
Yes.
like I don't
Which
get
is a big part of business,
right. Like so for you,
you
it's
get
time
it.
is money, but for
Yeah.
me, it's time is like now I need to focus on other things. I don't have time to sit here and talk about
Yeah.
this land for 2 months.
Right.
I have about 38 minutes to talk about it, and then now we're going to execute and make it happen.
Yeah,
Same thing with the business world, I'm sure.
So right now, so what's going to happen is the town manager's going to drag his feet and just going to delay this longer so that the CTE, so the renovation in the actual the tech center will start and is starting like currently is
Right.
just starting, right? But the ag building, which is going to be built back where that hockey rink was, is being delayed because we can't get permits, or they won't give us permits because they have to figure this whole land thing out, which I just still don't understand because it's the school's land. Like, look on the tax map. It's town of Newport School District, or the school district. The town land's behind it, right? So I don't understand how it's an issue for the school. It's the town of Newport's issue. They got the grant. They got to figure it out. Give us a damn building permit so we can do what we need to do. But no, instead we're gonna play little kid games apparently, and still don't have building permits, and don't have no clue what we're gonna do yet. Yeah. Well, working on it.
I know, and to be fair to Ed, our business administrator, he said that he thinks everything's working as it should be. By the way, like this is my own work ethic as far as whenever I was in the military. Like this is way too beyond.
Yeah. Well, problem is Ed doesn't know Hunter as well as we do.
Well, I just to me it's a simple. I am probably way oversimplifying it, but in the grand scheme of things, when I used to have like decision making authorities and all that kind of stuff, like all you got to do is send somebody to make this happen. Like or you got to make it happen.
Yeah. And I'm sure the state would say, listen, we'll give you a grace period of time to find that piece of property while you build your ag building, because some of the money is coming from the state of New
Like I don't
Hampshire.
understand how, like all of a sudden because you're like a bureaucrat or whatever, you work in government, you all of a sudden lose your ability to make common sense decisions.
Right.
Like there are some things that have occurred throughout this state that just baffle me, that the town is connected to on some of it, but other things, it's just like, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Like if you call up somebody and say, hey, look, this is a 30-year thing. Your congressman just approved a $1.6 million increase to this budget because it's very important to the state of New Hampshire that we have a good technical education.
And 80% of it's funded from the state of New Hampshire directly.
Right.
So Hunter is going to slow that down for his own bullshit. So someone
Well,
should...
I don't know that it's necessarily Hunter. I'm saying that I think that Hunter could make some phone calls and make this happen.
No, I think it's Hunter.
I think that it
No,
could
I think it's
happen.
Hunter 100%.
You think he's doing it just out of spite?
Yeah, because he wants it to be that...
Because he
property
lost
down-
he lost this election right here, so he can't.
Yeah. No,
so
'cause
everything
he wants
is
it
going to
to-
get punished for
the
that.
field, he wants it to be down there. He wants to do that. So it's another thing. Looks
But
like
we don't
what
have to
the town
provide a
did.
field. Like what?
No. Well, no, I know we
And
don't.
and I think that we're being polite and helping out with all that when we don't have to do anything. If I may not understand everything, right? Because I'm only in a briefing a month basically for this kind of stuff. So there's
that's
probably
the
some
gist
stuff
of it.
that I miss out on it, but I just know that I would pick up a phone and make things happen. Or I would drive down somewhere, or the next time I'm going down to Concord or something. I mean, if you can get $4 million of the nation's tax money to put up a building that the town voted down 3 times in a row, you think you could get a piece of paper saying, all right, switch this land to this land. And then we'll figure it out. Like I have no qualms figuring something out because it was initially, right? There used to be hockey games that went on there back in the past.
long freaking time ago. A long time ago.
Right? So like
And it
there's
wasn't. It was not even hockey like that. It was like, it was literally used once a year for broom hockey on a Sunday during Winter Carnival. Like it was like the Ed Carr Classic. Ed put this thing on, And Ed's the one that brought it forward because no one knew. The town didn't know. The school, nobody knew. It wasn't on the deed or anything, this whole land thing. And I'm sure when Ed brought it up, it wasn't to cause all this issue.
Yeah,
It was
I
just
don't
saying,
think so either.
hey, you got to do this right. And we don't have an issue with doing it right.
No, not at all.
Because we were like, well, all right, we'll just find 3/4 of an acre of land and do whatever we got to do. But then it went to no, this is the town's grant, so it's the town's issue. So that it was taking from us. Because if it was our issue, it had already been dealt with and done. It would have been over with. But the problem is, it's not.
I get
It's
it.
in the town's hands now, and now it's been months since then. When literally the guy from the Parks and Rec's like, yeah, this is really simple. This is like a week. It is simple. It's a simple thing. You just got to switch it. No big deal. And it doesn't have to be equal. Oh, you have to put a hockey rink in. No, it just has to be the same piece of land size, in value. It can't be like, his little, well, it probably could be a little swampy area that you turned into a, whatever.
Nature trail.
Yeah. So, but that's just got overcomplicated, and now it's, delayed. and
I
stuff.
just want everybody to get along. Like
Hey, that could happen. You just need to get rid of a few more people. But good news is the shitbag that runs the DPW is resigned. I guess in July. So yeah, so that's good news for Newport. Maybe we can maintain some staff now. We just need one more to leave the town, and then maybe we can actually put this town back to the way it used to be.
You mean somebody that like is dedicated and
Yeah.
interested and looks out for the best interest of
Yeah.
the town and not like their own personal ego?
Yeah.
Well,
Imagine that.
we'll see if that ever happens.
We'll see.
My recommendation would be to hire somebody from within the town so that there's like some loyalty to something other than ego.
Yeah.
Somebody that can take a win and a loss and be graceful.
Yeah. Or at the same time, just the select board put their employee in the freaking position where they should be.
No,
And be like, oh,
no,
no.
the select board works for the town manager.
Yes.
That's
I know.
that hasn't changed in a long time since I've lived here.
No, I see that. Not supposed to be that way, though. We don't work for Donna. Donna works for us.
Oh, I look at it this way: if we did business like I have noticed, my own personal opinion, the way the select board does business, we would have had a solar contract 8 months ago for 25 years at nothing, because that's about how my perception of the select board works. It's like, oh, we can save money. All right, sign it. Like no second, third order effect, no study of the situation. Don't listen to the experts, because the experts can get hand washed away to, oh, that's anecdotal. I've seen that happen.
Yeah, I watch those meetings.
I've seen someone be told that's anecdotal, and then that person give anecdotal evidence to the contrary of the previous said anecdotal
To
evidence.
be fair, that was Hunter. So, on a positive note,
Airport, you can check
yes.
that.
But on a positive note, so now we're just not bashing.
Last August.
No, so we're not just bashing the selectmen the whole, show. But one thing that I noticed they did last Tuesday, which is nice. I don't know if Kevin Onella is not coming on the show with Steve anymore on WCNL. But Barry and Jim Barrows from the select board came in and were on the show for maybe like an hour and talking about things in town or whatever. And they want to have a weekly segment they're doing. So that is a good thing. That's positive. That's a push in the right
Is
direction.
it a call-in show?
Yes, you can call in, I believe. Yes, you can. So that's positive, and I'm glad to see that. So
No, I'm not here to. I'm not.
I know
I don't
you're
mean
not.
to bash on. I'm concerned
know.
about the CTE
Yes,
and the
bus barn, CT bus barn, like
well
those
that,
two things
but
are
like
still
the
working, right?
airport. The airport is like
Well,
my
yeah.
thing, and so when that guy started talking about that, that really just highlighted to me the importance of pausing and asking questions and taking 2 weeks to decide something. If you're getting something, by the way, and you're told that you need a decision on it tonight, and you're
Tough
and you-
shit.
like, and you don't feel comfortable on it, say no.
Yeah, no. So that's the thing. Like,
Say, I didn't read it. I don't have enough time. I need to ask, like, there's like 15 pages here of technical stuff that I don't understand, and we need to bring in experts.
now, correct me if I'm wrong, because you were at the meeting. I wasn't. I just watched. Like I said, I rewatched that Empire or whatever. But the select board seemed surprised, like they didn't know anything about this stuff. Right?
For the airplanes having
Yes.
the winds and the
So-
height of the building, all this was.
I was at that meeting because I'm on the zoning board. Okay, so there's a height rule in Newport, 40 feet. They wanted the extra 3 feet for like this insulation.
Even 40 feet is too high, he said, for the.
Yeah, well, I can get to that in
Oh,
one
okay.
second.
All right.
So at the time, because I had asked the same thing, well, it's so close to the airport, and I'm not an expert on any of this stuff. But Chris, who is actually on our board, does a lot of flying stuff, and he knows much more than I do. And he's the one also that said and had concerns like, I don't know about this. So we did approve that 43 feet because we're briefed that the airport had no issue with this building, right? So we did approve it, and we approved the 3 feet because of the insulation thing, and said it. And I don't think that 3 feet was going to make a difference. However, I thought originally even like, you can put a 40-foot building. Are you sure? Like, you can put a 40-foot building in. So
You high pitched them?
yeah, I'm like, okay. So we approved it, and we approved it because it was like 96 units, but it's senior housing, 65 up, no kids. Because if they're like, yeah, we're gonna do like workforce housing, I would have been like a hard no, and I would have fought the shit out of it no matter what, because that would destroy your town. Well, 96 more units of kids, but senior housing, okay, and it'll bring in a lot of tax revenue. It will stress our safety services a little more, right? But the offset would be okay. Now, I had said too, like the height thing. Are you sure? Like, because this is right, literally next to the freaking airport, and nope, it's fine. So then they were supposed to come back to the zoning a couple months ago, and I haven't seen them yet, and I don't know why. Because this study came out, and technically, because of where it's at, you can't put more than an 8-foot high building where that is or whatever, because the runway where they measured, which is what that gentleman said that night, because they measured from the center of the runway to make it work. No, you have to measure from the edge of the runway. And so there's no way. We haven't seen him yet. So in theory, this may never happen because of this.
And to be fair to the select board, when they found that out, like you said, they all looked like, wait, what? And so I think they're going to go back and look at it. So
But here's the thing.
I think
their representative sits on that board and was at those meetings and knows all about this. So, and voiced no concern like that. Which I'm not blaming that person. I'm not saying that at all, because here's the thing, and I've said this for so long now. Nobody in those meetings, besides like us who are appointed to represent the town side. So they come in with their studies and all this, and I'm like, okay, so you can find a study that fits what you want anywhere. Now, there should be someone there with business, experience in the real estate, something that sits out there that represents us, whether it's a lawyer or something that's like, actually what he's telling you is a bunch of bullshit. So, it should be, that's how it should be, right? It should be like experts here, and then you make a decision, because we're supposed to be like a jury, basically, is what we're supposed to be like. And we don't have that. So we just approve everything that comes in based on our opinions or what they tell us. And I'm like, wait, this should not be how this works. Now, if you come in here, Stephen, like, hey, I want to have a shed, but I want to put a foot off the line over there. And this, the code says, or the ordinance says 15 feet. All right, you know what, Steve? Where you are, it's not going to affect anything around here. Your neighbor's not here all pissed off. Okay, Steve, you can do that. It's your own property. Absolutely. Because I don't believe in a lot of this stuff. When it comes to where it bothers or is an issue with me and is important for us to jointly discuss and go to zoning or whatever, is when it affects other people, like big housing projects, okay? You're right, that is your property. But now what you do on that property is going to affect our town greatly and our tax money, right? Now that's an issue. But if you want to, do something else on your property and like, well, you can't technically screw you. It's his property and do whatever he wants. So not to sound like, wait, Tim's already saying yes, 100%. If it's your property, it's your property. You're paying taxes on it, and the town should have no freaking voice in any of it, or the state or the federal government, nothing.
Yeah, when you're renting it, you mean, through your taxes?
Yeah,
because we don't really own it.
Yeah, you notice that too. But places like this, housing projects, that affects our town and our taxes. So now all of a sudden our school bill goes up by double because you've just brought in 400 kids or something stupid because no one's paying attention to this. And I've said this for over and over and over again. This side over here, the town side, the zonings, planning, all this, they're not thinking about. I am, and some of the members on the zoning and stuff have thought about this too. We just keep approving stuff. And you can't just keep approving stuff that's going to affect the school, which is going to affect everyone in town because it's going to affect your taxes. Because if 100 kids drop into your school, yeah, you can bet your taxes are going to go up a lot. A lot.
And then we're going to go over there, and and when everybody's complaining, we're going to say, talk to the select board because they approve
And the
these.
select board's going to be like, well, that's the school's problem. They got a $20 million budget, so, Oh, wait, because you keep approving things that make the town look nice, but it doesn't affect you. Like Bert said it perfect one time. They get all the like glory and all the like, hey, look what we did, look at this, and we get all the liability because the school gets the liability, which is more kids, more money it costs to have them in here. So someone should wake up and start maybe asking questions more and really forcing a response because, and maybe that one conversation will be enough to maybe wake them up to say, hey, we probably should start watching this stuff.
Yeah, I think.
But I've been saying this since I've been on the board.
I read the room when that guy was talking, and there was some unhappy concern. You know what I mean? Like we know all the select board members. They're good people. They're just getting caught up sometimes in the wrong things.
When you follow the devil, that's what you get, right?
I don't know, but
anyways, so a few events, and then we'll wrap this up, and we'll have, I'm sure, lots more to talk about in the coming days. But tonight is class night for Newport graduates, so I'll be there. You're going to that tonight, right?
I'm planning on it.
Yeah. So class night, they'll give out some scholarships and different things, and then the big event for the week is Wednesday at 6 is graduation. Knock on wood. Hopefully the weather will cooperate because it hasn't seemed to lately. The challenge this year is in the past if it rained, you could go to the Opera House, but the Opera House isn't done yet, so you can't use it. So I don't know what we'll do if it rains. Not sure, but we'll figure all that out. Obviously, as time
Probably
goes.
the gym.
It's too small.
The gym.
Yeah. Think about. Well, I used to hate it when I was at the Opera House, and it was pretty rare, but occasionally I had to do it at the Opera House, and you get 2 tickets basically. So if you get 60 kids, so I guess you'd fit, and then I guess it could fit in the gym. So
Yeah, I used to give out 2 tickets.
yeah, I've given out 2 tickets, but it's tough giving 2 tickets out because a lot of people, like for my family, so me and my wife, okay, and Danielle's mom, my ex-wife, and her husband, so that's 4. So you're gonna just be like, oh, just the parents can come that are blood related? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's how it works, man.
Oh, yeah. So, anyways,
Put that kid in a tough bind. Figure out who you want to.
you decide right now. Who do you want to show up?
Exactly. And all your future may depend on who you choose.
So let's hope it just doesn't rain. So it'd be nice outside. Like, yeah. Tonight, cruise night, 6 to 8 behind the Sugar River Bank. I believe the Cruising Cow is going to be there again. Ice cream's really good. And tonight 6 to 8. So if you want to check that
They're
out,
going to cruise around town. They're going to go visit the.
Yes, tonight's
retirement
they're gonna,
homes.
Yep, we're going past Summercrest and Woodlawn, I believe they said, which I will not be able to go this cruise night because of class night. But they've been getting.
Yes, sorry, Wayne. We will not be there.
We can't make it Wayne tonight. Sorry, but he's been getting around 75 cars, so it's been nice. It's in some different cars that I hadn't seen.
Yeah, there were some new ones this year.
It's
Or
been good.
last time we went.
I have to reach out to him too. Obviously, he was the one we were talking about when Tana and Becky were here talking with New Hampshire Grands. So at the end of the show, we before we did the show, we did a little interview with New Hampshire Grand families, and so I'll put that at the end of the show. But they're doing an event. Was it August or October? But anyways, talk about horror.
Well, you should probably do it separately from.
Yeah, that's true.
We had some rampaging with some cuss words there at the beginning. They're
That's
a
true.
good organization that doesn't
So we
need to be
didn't-
associated with our rantings.
Good idea. So we'll do it separate. So it's about 14 minutes long, and I apologize if the audio isn't great. I haven't even checked it yet because there was 4 of us here, which we've never done before, and it was kind of squeezing in, but it'll work out. But a great organization, New Hampshire Grand Families. They do a lot for. Basically, I thought it was just like grandparents, that had their grandkids and they're raising them because the parents weren't involved. But it's for anyone that is raising someone else's kids, basically, because the mom and dad aren't in their lives or whatever. So, we'll that'll be up. So please definitely check that out and see how you can get involved, because it's a great organization and very much needed. You know, we talk about this all the time where, you know, even Newport, just parents not involved, and then grandparents, but they've already raised kids, and sometimes they're like, yeah, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to do a great job, and other times it's like, we don't want to do this, right, to raise kids, and they're just thrown in positions, but this group can help anyone out that's in that situation with. There's some financial things, but they also can help with like paperwork from the state, because we know how confusing any of that stuff is. So, but definitely check out that little episode, because it was good. So, Save a Stray 5K is Saturday 24th, 10 a.m. And then the soccer night thing we talked about before on the Tuesdays and Thursdays starts June 27th and goes through the 27th of July from 5:30 to 7:30. It's like a family thing too, so like families can come down. There's no age limit or anything. Just trying to get some soccer skill things going before soccer starts. So those are all good things. Want to thank our sponsors: Beard Sewer and Drain, Sunshine Realty, and Twin State Paving. As always, reach out to them if you need any of those kind of services. Twin State Paving, definitely want to. That's one of those ones, if you're trying to get your driveway paved or seal coat or something this year, you want to reach out sooner than later, because they do get really busy. But, and like I said, if you're selling or buying a home, reach out to Teresa at Sunshine Realty. She can hook you up. And I can help you with all your sewer and drain issues. I seem so thrilled with that. I actually have to go somewhere after this, and I have a lot of stuff going on this week. So it's going to be a little tough for us. I can't commit to 3 shows a week anymore, because this is like my busy time of between trying to get my house done, trying to get work done, but as often as we possibly can, we want to do it, because we want to keep everyone informed, and we also like doing the show. So
Yeah, lots of graduation week stuff this week.
Yes,
Celebrate
congratulations.
those young men and women.
yes, congratulations to all the classes of 2023, whether it's Newport or anywhere else. I think Sunapee graduated on Friday of last week there,
Oh, nice.
which we could have graduated a little early, but we always do Wednesdays, so it just worked out. So last year it was a week sooner than this, I think, but
Oh, I think it has to be within so many days. Remember Miss Martin
Yes.
was explaining it when Stephen got a little.
yeah, he's like, I want to graduate now. I want to be done with it. Yeah, it was kind of funny, but yeah, so that's Wednesday, and yeah, definitely congratulations, and all the kids that, you know, class night tonight, and you know, all the kids that you know, are top 10, and just anyone at this point, anyone graduating, congratulations, because that is a success on its own, getting through the 12 years of school, and
2 years of buffoonery that went on.
yeah, yes,
2+ years.
isn't that true? Yeah. Anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, I just appreciate everything. Everything's my own opinion. I don't speak on behalf of anybody. In case anybody's wondering, these are my own observations. And
Same
I
story
could be
here.
wrong. I might be wrong about things, but that's just my opinion.
Steve,
Take it for what you want.
Steve is always the first one to say that. I will not say that.
No, I mean I am fallible. I make mistakes. I talk out of turn sometimes because we get excited. So things like that happen. So that's my whole thing. Like when I talk about the
I just
select board,
apologize later.
I like all those guys. They're good people. They're trying to do the right thing. It just
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I
Because
don't
we were
disagree.
kind of hard, but like the airport thing really threw me off last August, and that's what I've been honed in on. And so anytime I get that they didn't do their research, just proves my point that I knew that they didn't do their research just from listening to it in the car while I was driving,
problem is
without even seeing their faces.
the problem is they put all their faith in their employee, and they shouldn't be.
Well, no, I mean you have to be able to, but you also have to make some phone calls yourself, and you got to do some outside research, and you got to listen to the experts, even when your expert, so to speak, doesn't want you to hear them. You got to hear.
When the expert disagrees with your employee, then you should really.
And
look
that's
into
when
it
you
more.
got to like start doing. And that's my point is.
And legit, the guy is an expert. Like that is what he does for a living. And then yeah,
Yeah, that's from back last August. So
Yeah.
anyway, I just want to make sure I point that out. That's my own opinion. I'm probably wrong, could be wrong, probably right, but
Steve's right. All right, guys. Thank you for watching, and get out, enjoy the weather when you can. Try to jump between raindrops here and there, but yeah, just I guess try to do something positive every day. We try to.
Trying.
We try our best, anyways. You're out there gardening and.
I know. I'm
swing
you know
set.
what I really think about, like, because I have a lot. Like, I'll never be able to eat all that stuff. As like, sharing it with you guys and anybody that needs it. So all you gotta do is reach out. I'll have a lot of tomatoes. I ended up planting a lot, and I still have some space for more. So I might
Even when
add-
you say you're not going to plant a lot of tomatoes, he still does.
I know. I still got room for like 12 more tomato plants or something else, whatever. So I have the seedlings. I don't know. Reach out to me if you need some seedlings too. I got some.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.
Of the fabric that they fabricate, they feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on these streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour and troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you.